So, FC25 is out on Friday. Excited, everyone? Or are we all expecting it to be the same game as last year? Come on, Mike, be positive. Either way, as I touched on in a very recent intro to my Blackburn career mode, if you haven't watched it, go and make sure that you do. It's quality, even though I haven't finished it yet. I said in there that this is going to be a big brand new year for the channel in terms of the cycle of FC25 and FM25. FC25 obviously comes out first, and this video is all about what my plans are for the year, but primarily what is the first career mode we are going to be doing on the channel. And with that in mind, I've come up with a little short list of ideas that I would really like to do. If none of the ideas are great, then I'll have a little rethink and maybe pick a different team, or maybe try something different. We're going to start in England. It's what I know. A lot of my career modes have been in England, but this might be the first year where later on in the cycle I venture out and try a different spot. I've been a bit torn about which ones I should do. I've never done a Premier League club right from the off. I've always either done it as a Championship team or occasionally League One in the case of Derby. I don't want to revisit an old team that I've already done in the last few years, so all teams are going to be brand new. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that it's either going to be a struggling Premier League club that should be doing better, or we're going to go full RTG from League 2 all the way to the top. But what teams have I gone for? Let's have a little look, shall we? So, option 1. This is going to ruffle a few feathers, I think, especially because I'm a Liverpool fan. Chelsea. Where do you start with where they are as a club at the moment? Where do you start? Boardroom warfare, underperforming team, sack managers on the regular, probably going to have FFP problems or FSR problems, whatever the hell it's called now. Where do you start? You start with getting Micromunching to come and fix it. That's what you do. They're in the Premier League, and then they're in the Conference League. I've done it the wrong way around, haven't I? They're in the Premier League and they're in the Conference League. So European football is there, but obviously after finishing 6th last year? 6th. Yeah, after finishing 6th last year and spending over £1.5 or nearly £1.5 billion since Clear Lake and Todd Bowley came in, there is clearly some work that needs to be done. There's some obvious pros to this career mode, and there are also some cons, okay? Pro number one is that this is a very good team. They're probably going to have a fair bit of money to spend, and we've got brilliant players such as Cole Palmer and Noddy Madueke. Ignore Kukurea. I've put him in there for the memes. Before anyone says anything, he'll definitely get sold. It should be a relatively enjoyable career mode because I'm always about keeping my career modes realistic. So ideally what I'm going to try to do is we can do one or two things with the Chelsea career mode. I can either continue along the line of what Bowley and Clear Lake are doing in terms of selling on academy players and buying in young, so we don't buy anybody over the age of 22 or who is not born in Brazil or is not a South American youngster. Or we actually say, you know what, transfer ban comes in, we stick with what we have. Which, to be fair, sounds fun, but I know that a lot of people like to tune in for the career modes and like to do it because the transfers are the most fun part of FIFA because they're broken and you can do what you want. The cons of it are, number one, it's Chelsea. I'm not going to be able to be unbiased about them, although they're no real threat to Liverpool anymore. There's still obviously a historic rivalry there, so I'm going to find it hard to be impartial. The other con is that it might be a very quick career mode. I'm not good at EA or FIFA, as you've seen from my other career modes, but I am entertaining, and that's what makes it realistic, is that I'm not great at the game, and things take me a bit longer to win than other things, but I'm quietly confident that this would be a relatively short career mode, judging by the players that I would have available and the funds. Option number 2 is another Premier League team, and one that I think might be a kind of bigger, longer lasting project and might last a few seasons more, and that is West Ham. Okay, con number 1 is that I'm not going to be able to stop doing that. Or a pro, if you enjoy a laugh at terrible accents. West Ham are in the Premier League, no European football, and arguably have maybe underperformed with the team that they did have. Although you could say that David Moyes overachieved the season before last when they won obviously the Europa Conference League and they made it into the Europa League. But they didn't finish very well last year. They were a bottom half of the table team, I think, if memory serves. And obviously there was a lot of unrest about the football that Dave was playing. I say Dave, I call him Maggie Smith because him and Maggie Smith look quite alike, I think. He's gone. Lopetegui's come in. There's been a lot of transfers, obviously, over the summer, and I think I could do quite well with this brand new look squad. Still don't think they've solved their striking issues, and that would be something that I'd look to hopefully resolve and get back to playing the West Ham way. I did a football manager save of West Ham like right when the channel started, called Getting Hammered. If you want a good laugh, go watch that. It was great fun back when I didn't know what I was doing, even more so than now. But West Ham is a club that's quite close to my heart. I've got a lot of family from that area, a lot of family that support them, so I know the club quite well. I've been to the London Stadium many a time. I also think went to Upton Park at least once or twice in my youth. So yeah, it's a club that I've got ties to, and I'd like to see them do well. And the squad there is actually not too bad. They've obviously got Max Kilman, Mohamed Kudus is a really, really good player. They've got Jared Bowen, who's obviously a legend there. It means I can do Danny Dyer sketches. All these are really good pros towards the career mode. I am sort of swaying a little bit more towards that than the Chelsea one from a personal preference point of view. The cons on it, again, is it's a Premier League team, so it could lead to being a rather a rather quick career mode and being over relatively quickly. There's probably loads of other career modes just like that out in the ether somewhere, but I'm not really here for views, if that makes any sense. Obviously, it'd be great if I got loads and we got loads of new subscribers. But I'm here to try and make content that I'd really find enjoyable. And I think that I could make some pretty funny skits and intros with West Ham and with Chelsea, to be honest. So, less cons on this one, but around about the same amount of pros. But I think those are the two kind of Premier League clubs I'm the most interested in doing in this year's version, just because of where they're at in terms of their sort of story, as it were. So now on to the RTGs. Or RTG, and I'll talk to you about maybe the fourth option afterwards. So the RTG side of things, I've never done one from League 2 all the way up to the Premier League, and I've got some really good ideas, I think, of what we could do with that as a community, and for me, from a creative point of view. And I've kind of found one team that I think kind of fits my criteria of a team that previously was quite big and did very well, and has kind of fallen from grace. And that team is Bradford City. Yep, I know, bit of an odd one. For those of you that don't remember, Bradford were in the Premier League, I believe, in the 1998-99 season, which was the first season that I watched Premier League football, and I watched Bradford beat Liverpool 1-0, if memory serves. It might have been on the final day, or it gave them a chance, basically, of staying up. Since then, it's not been great. They're down in League 2. They've been at the kind of lower end of the Football League pyramid for God knows how long, and things haven't really improved. But they're still at Valley Parade, which, as you can see, is a wonderful stadium. And they've also now, this season, made a really good start to the year. I think they're 5th in League 2 as it stands at time of recording. And they've got a really good player in the form of Mr. Andy Cook. Now, Andy Cook's a bit old, so he's not going to last long in the career mode, but I think he's in Bradford's top 5 goal scorers ever. So he's obviously a bit of a club legend. It would be nice to see if I could keep him on for a little bit, even as a 36-year-old 4 or 5 seasons in, or whenever it is, and see what I can do with him. But the whole point of doing an RTG is that it gives us a lot more in the way of creative freedom. The only real downside is that we don't really know any of the players, and therefore if I'm making signings and stuff, it's not like I can do big headline titles on a signing, you know, young wonder kids. That ain't gonna happen. A lot of this is going to be youth academy focused and getting in bargain buys from the free agents bin. And if you like that kind of career mode, then great. I've never really done one, so it's all going to be new to me. And with that in mind, one of the things that I would like to do is that we can set up our own kind of criteria and our own rules for the save, so we can have our own kind of club ethos and club vision, which I would like to obviously kind of go through with you guys before we start the career mode, and kind of almost use you guys as the viewership, as my board of directors. Do you know what I mean? And get you guys a bit more involved and say, look, this is what we want to do. This is the kind of club that we want to build. And then I try and mould it around that. It'll help get the community a little bit more active in the save. It'll help give me some nice guidelines to go on, so it stops me from just going and getting all the brand new regens and sort of cheat coding my way to the top. Not that that would matter with me anyway, because the likelihood is that it would take me 10 years to get to the Premier League. But I just think that something like that would be fun. And Bradford sort of were the only team currently in League 2 that really suited what the kind of ethos of what I've done with my other career modes, which is a team that primarily used to do very well and was a Premier League team, but has kind of fallen from grace and fallen by the wayside. Bradford were the only team that I could really think that came to mind that I thought, you know what, yeah, that makes sense. So if you don't like Bradford, I'm sorry, put that to the side, okay? It could be really, really good fun, and I think that it would be great. The only other option that we've done, and I've not I've not come up with a background or anything for this one, would be for me to do an RTG, but do it with a creator club. I have an entire idea for that, and it's something that I definitely want to do on the channel at some point. If some of you have ever watched some of my FM saves, especially on Twitch and my streams, you'll know that I've done a kind of creator club on FM before. It didn't, obviously, like anything I've done, it didn't finish. But we had a really, really good fun with it when I was able to stream regularly. And I'd like to maybe bring some of that into FIFA or EAFC. It might be easier to do it with a ready-made club. It might be more fun to do it with a creator club. I don't know. We'll see. So, those are the options, as far as I'm aware. If you guys really don't like any of these, feel free to put them in the comment section, respectfully. And then we can obviously have a look at maybe some of the other ones that do. But the thing is that I've got to end up enjoying this career mode, because if I don't enjoy it, then it's going to come across like I'm not enjoying it, and then the videos aren't going to be entertaining, they're not going to be funny, I'm just going to be bitching and whinging all the time, which, to be fair, is not far off what would normally happen anyway, but without the funny side of it. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to try and hopefully put a vote on this video, so you guys can vote in terms of which career mode that you would like. And what I'm also then going to do is I'm going to back that up with a community post later on today with all the options of the FC25 career mode. I'm probably going to let that run until maybe Monday evening, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take down all the feedback from that, and then I will start doing my kind of big introduction piece that I do for the first episode later on in the week. If you are new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe, and obviously let me know what your feedback is and your comments. I'm really, really keen to help the channel grow over the next year, but at the same time, I don't want to sell my soul out and just do, you know, Ultimate Team SBC videos and stuff like that. No offense to anyone that does that, it's not what I'm interested in. I'm all about the story, I'm all about making people laugh, and I'm all about playing the games and playing them the way that I enjoy playing them. I don't enjoy Ultimate Team, I hate it with a passion because I'm crap at it. At least with career mode, I can be okay at it, and there's not someone that's actually proving they're better than me on the other end of it. So if you're here for Ultimate Team, that ain't me. I can try, and it'd be hilarious, but I'd be terrible. Yeah, if you're new, like, subscribe. If you're not new, let me know what your comments are. Just everyone get involved, please. This is obviously a very kind of nice community, I would like to think. At least you all are to me most of the time. So thank you for obviously all the support. Here's to a good year. Let's get rolling. Bring on FC25. So I'll see you all again, and guys, take care of yourselves. Stay cool.